UFC 273. Alexander the Great Volkanovski faces the Korean Zombie. Now this is a pretty good fight on paper for Volkanovski. It's a fight that he should win. His volume, his distance striking with his long reach, should work very well against Zombie, who is not a very volume-heavy guy. On the other hand, Korean Zombie has pretty powerful hands. He has plenty of finishes in his career, his most recent finish being against Frankie Edgar. That fight alone proves Zombie poses a very real threat to Volkanovski. Zombie's best chances of winning is not by a submission, not by a decision but by a knockout, and Alex doesn't have the best chin. We have seen Volkanovski getting dropped in previous fights. Chad Mendes dropped him, Max Holloway dropped him twice, and even Brian Ortega dropped him, so Alex has to be very careful coming in and out of the range so that he doesn't get countered by Zombie. Zombie also happens to be a pretty difficult guy to take down. His takedown defense has been pretty solid so far, but I don't believe this fight will go to the ground. Not unless someone is really hurt and starts shooting for takedowns to protect themselves. I think Alex will try a few takedowns throughout the fight and Zombie is most likely going to defend them fairly easily. It's going to be a great stand-up battle and I believe Volkanovski has a significant edge in that department. Zombie may have more power but that's pretty much it. In all other areas of striking, Alex beats him, and it's crazy how big of a favorite Volkanovski is. He is a -700 favorite against Zombie, which is kind of not fair for Zombie. I think he is being underestimated heavily, and the reason for that is the Ortega fight. After finishing Frankie in a brutal manner, people were expecting Zombie to destroy Ortega in the striking department, but what happened was the opposite. Ortega easily outstruck Zombie throughout the fight. Zombie was very flat-footed. He was giving Ortega all the time he needed. He was moving ahead but he was not pressuring intelligently, meaning he was not throwing enough strikes, and Ortega was carefully outstriking him and winning all the rounds. He simply cannot do that against Alexander because it's gonna be even. Worse, Alex is a superior striker than Ortega. He will never let the fight move at that slow pace. He will constantly kick Zombie's legs and will look to counter him from a safe distance with that great reach of his. He is a short guy but he has large arms and he uses that reach very well. He was able to constantly land his left hand on Max even after being a lot shorter. And in the Ortega fight, when Zombie was losing, he realized he had to finish the fight and he moved in on to attack. He got elbowed by Ortega and got dropped. Same thing can happen with Volkanovski. He is an even better counter-strike than Ortega is, so the path to victory for Zombie is to intelligently pressure Volkanovski with kicks and jabs and not let him dictate where the fight goes. It's also gonna be easier to defend Alex's takedowns if Zombie is forcing him towards the cage. Zombie could potentially hurt Volkanovski and drop him and maybe jump for a submission and just TKO him. But in the end I think it's gonna be Volkanovski who takes the win here. He is the favorite as he should be, but I think he should be a -300 favorite. I think he is gonna cleanly outstrike Zombie. His volume is gonna be too much and the biggest thing going for Alex are gonna be his feints. Other fighters from City Kickboxing are enhancing the feint game pretty game like Adesanya and even Kai Kara France. I think Alex's feints are gonna draw out opportunities to counter Zombie and Alex's kicks are also gonna discourage Zombie from pressuring him too much. I think Alexander Volkanovski will win the fight via a decision. It's either gonna be 50-45 or 50-46. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and make sure to like and subscribe.